The men had just arrived at the border when he sensed something was wrong. There were clearly two poor people there, signaling that he could escape from this place, but the moment they ran 10 meters away, an arrow pierced their hearts. Just as the man was puzzled, his friend Mike, who had brought him to the border, tossed him a bag of diamonds worth tens of millions, and gave him 2 minutes to run. At that moment, the men realized Mike had tricked him into coming to the border, just to make him participate in a hunting game organized by the wealthy. But he had no intention of playing this twisted game. He picked up his backpack and prepared to leave. Yet, the next second, a group of armed soldiers surrounded him. Mike didn't waste words either, giving Nick 2 minutes to run. Knowing these people were dead serious, Nick had no choice but to sprint into the forest behind him. The moment the 2 minutes were up, the wealthy hunters raised their rifles and began their deadly game. Little did they know, from the moment they stepped into the forest, they had gone from hunters to prey, because Nick was no ordinary man. He was a top-tier boxing champion. Sure enough, after searching for a long time, they found no trace of Nick. Nick, meanwhile, didn't dare stop. It turned out he was trying to cross the border into Thailand. Soon, he reached a river. Just then, one of the wealthy hunters, John, came up with a clever idea to find Nick. He climbed to a hilltop and quickly spotted Nick drinking by the river. Fortunately, Nick hid behind a tree in time. Seeing John descending the hill toward him, Nick plunged into the river. By the time John reached the riverbank, Nick had already vanished, or so it seemed. In the next instant, Nick dragged John into the water, landed 2 punches on him, only for John to pull out a stun gun, intent on killing him. Nick showed no mercy, knocking John onto the rocks. When the other wealthy men found John, he was already a corpse. Only then did they realize they were dealing with a dangerously skilled prey. But with their numbers, they weren't afraid. They arrived at a waterfall, searching for Nick. One of them spotted him below, and immediately signaled the others to open fire. Hearing the commotion, Nick quickly dove underwater, hiding behind a large rock. The arrows couldn't reach him, so the wealthy men brought out a grenade launcher. A single explosive shot sent Nick flying. Nick tumbled down the mountainside, sliding hundreds of meters, before landing on something soft. When he regained his senses, he realized it was a herd of elephants. Just as Nick was at a loss, a young girl appeared. After a brief exchange, she learned that Nick was being hunted by wealthy men. She wanted to talk further, but Nick had no time for conversation. He turned to flee across the border, but he didn't realize he was going the wrong way. The border isn't that way, the girl said. Just follow me. Seeing that the girl didn't seem like a threat, Nick followed without hesitation. But they hadn't gone far when they stumbled upon a charred black cow on the ground. Both realized they had wandered into a minefield. To make matters worse, the wealthy hunters were closing in on them in their vehicles.